We are going to explore the industry of civil aviation in India. I am Prantik. So let's get started. Uh, let's move on to the next slide. So let's just quickly take a look at what all we are going to discuss today. So we'll start off with an overview of the industry, and then we'll look at the factors that drive the industry, followed by a 10-year journey of the industry that the industry has traced for the past 10 years. We'll also discuss how Porter's five forces actually impact the industry. We'll then take a look at the key players that inform the industry, followed by expected returns, and then we'll take a look at kind of a comparison between the US civil aviation industry and the Indian industry. We'll also discuss briefly about two different strategies of cost leadership and price differentiation. So let's just get on with it. Next slide. So civil aviation as an industry has seen significant growth over the past at least 10 to 15 years. So, and domestic passenger traffic has achieved a CAGR of almost 11% from 2016 to 2024. And this year alone, that is 2024, it has recorded more than 13% year-on-year growth. So that is, I think, phenomenal. And this is one industry, civil aviation, which actually unconditionally enjoys a lot of support from the government. So I think now we can take a look at the factors that actually drive growth in the industry. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, so there are broadly two kinds of factors rather, which actually drive growth in the industry. One is the demand side factors, and one is the supply side factors. So from the demand side, let's discuss the demand side factors first. So from the demand side, rising household incomes and increased propensity to travel impact the industry the most. And talking about the supply side, it's low-cost carriers and infrastructure development that are the ones that support the industry. So briefly discussing the points, so rising household incomes, I think it's self-explanatory. As India is growing and prospering, the median household income is increasing, which is actually increasing the demand for air travel and also increased propensity to travel. So especially after COVID, travel has actually rebounded, and that is actually immensely helping the industry. Talking about low-cost carriers, of course, always low-cost carriers have actually helped a lot of people cross over to air travel, those who were traveling otherwise before that. And infrastructure development, as I mentioned before, the industry enjoys a lot of support from the government. So airports are being built, airports are prospering, and public schemes like Uran, they have facilitated the industry immensely. So now I would like to request Samarth to take over from here.
Hi, my name is Samarth, and let's quickly explore the competitive dynamics of the Indian civil aviation industry using Porter's five forces framework. So, firstly, let's talk about the bargaining power of buyers. As we can see, Indian passengers are very price sensitive and often look for the best deals available. Switching airlines is easy and inexpensive for customers. Platforms like Make My Trip and ClearTrip enable customers to compare prices and options online easily. Then we have the threat of new entrants, which is moderated by high barriers. So starting an airline in India requires substantial investment in aircraft, technology, and infrastructure. The DGCA has also imposed stringent regulations on operations and safety, and there's limited availability of airport slots and high cost of infrastructure, creating significant barriers for new players. Now let's talk about the industry rivalry, which is very intense. The Indian market is highly competitive with numerous domestic and international airlines vying for market share. Airlines frequently engage in price wars, which can impact profitability, and many airlines are expanding their fleets and routes, which is also increasing competition. Finally, airlines are investing in improving their services, which is attracting customers. Now, talking about the bargaining power of suppliers, major aircraft suppliers like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited have significant influence, and fuel suppliers, given the high volatility of fuel prices, impact airline operations. Also, providers of essential airport services such as ground handling and maintenance hold bargaining power as well. Finally, we can talk about the threat of substitutes, which is moderate to low. While trains and buses are alternatives, they typically cannot match the speed and convenience of air travel, especially for longer distances. And air travel remains the most practical option due to many geographical limitations as well. Um, Next slide, please. So talking about the key players, we have Indigo, who is the largest airline in India by market share. They have strong cost management as well, and they have a net sales growth of 3.36. Then we have Air India and Vistara, which are the flag carriers of premium full service airlines. And they have extensive international and domestic routes and premium market positioning. As we can see, they also have a net sales growth of 14.4. Then we have SpiceJet, which is a major low cost carrier. They have competitive pricing and they have a net sales growth of 9.73. Finally, we have Go First, which is the lowest cost carrier, and they focus on secondary airports and high aircraft utilization. They have a net sales growth of 19.63.
Pooja, you can take over.
Yeah, Pooja.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Pooja. And coming on to its 10-year journey, Indian airlines industry has seen continuous ups and downs. Though the industry was earning negative returns, particularly during the period 2019 to 23, it has seen significant turnaround in 2024. The return on assets. Can you move to the next slide, please? The return on assets for airline industry in 2024 reached 17.06%, showing significant improved asset utilization. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah.
Uh,
Similarly, the
okay.
return on capital employed has also shown a dramatic increase to 1026.93%. Finally, the net sales growth showed spikes in 2018 and 23, but there was a sharp decline. No, the previous.
Is it
But
visible,
there
Pooja?
was a yeah. So net sales growth showed spikes in 2018 and 23, but there was a sharp decline in 2020 and a negative growth in 2021, reflecting the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. However, the industry experienced recovery and stabilized with a positive growth rate of 25.76% in 2024. Now we will come to EBIT and EBITDA margins, which has also shown increased significant improvements as compared to the previous years. In 2024, the EBITDA margins were recorded at 23.88% and EBIT margins at 17.65%. The payable days has also dropped from 44.81 in 2023 to 20.37 in 2024, suggesting airlines are capable of paying off their suppliers more quickly. With this significant growth, we will now look upon the expected returns. So can you please move to the next one?
Is it visible?
Yeah. So the Indian aviation market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 9.7% from 2023 to 2030, driven by rising middle class income, increased urbanization, and expanding connectivity. India is expected to overtake China and United States as world's third largest air passenger market by 2030. The number of airplanes is expected to reach 1100 by 2027. As per the reports of ICRA, Indian aviation industry is projected to see year-on-year revenue growth of 15 to 20% in financial year 24 and 10 to 15% in financial year 25. Now let's get deep into the insights of this industry.
All right. Hi, I'm Chitrak and I'll be taking you through the value chain analysis of the airline industry. Starting with inbound logistics, this involves essential processes such as aircraft and fuel procurement, route selection, and scheduling of flights and crews. These activities ensure that the airline has the resources and plans to put in place and operate effectively. Next, we move on to operations, which encompasses the daily activities required to run the airline. These include managing ticket counters, operating the aircraft, handling the baggage, and providing onboard services to passengers. This stage is crucial as it directly impacts customer experience during the journey. Outbound logistics follows, focusing on getting passengers and cargo to their final connections. This includes baggage handling, flight connections, and coordination with rental car and hotel reservations. Efficient outbound logistics help minimize delays and improve customer delight and satisfaction. In marketing and sales, the airline promotes its services, manages ticket sales, and it builds loyalty through programs like point systems and group sales. This stage is key for attracting new customers and retaining the existing ones. Finally, the after-sales service includes customer support and complaint resolution and feedback services. Ensuring high-quality after-sales support is essential for maintaining long-term customer relationships and addressing any issues that arise after the flight. Next slide, please. So basically, the challenges are high operational cost, competition, and seasonal demand. But there are also great opportunities as the market is growing, the regional connectivity is getting more diverse, and people are as India is going, people are ready to pay a premium for their air travel. Amreen, take it away.
All right. So, hi, my name is Amreen, and I'm going to quickly talk about the strategies being used by the major players. Indigo and SpiceJet are mostly dependent on the cost leadership strategy, and Vistara, Air India, which are now merged, are using the differentiation strategy. Talking about Indigo, so cost leadership strategy. Some of the main pointers are that they're using low-cost operations. Indigo focuses on minimizing operational costs by standardizing its fleets to mostly Airbus A320s, reducing maintenance and training expenses. They have an extremely efficient turnaround time. So by keeping their turnaround times short, Indigo maximizes aircraft utilization, allowing more flights per day and reducing per flight costs. Some of the other pointers are no-frill service, economies of scale, and fuel-efficient fleets. Now, talking about Vistara, who uses the differentiation strategy, first and foremost, as everybody knows, is the premium services which they offer. Vistara sets itself apart by providing a superior customer experience with 3 class cabins, economy, premium, and business class, unlike most other domestic airlines. Some of the other pointers are enhanced in-flight experience, strategic partnerships, focus on comfort and innovation, and very, very strong brand positioning. We'll just move on to the next slides now. Saransh, you can take over.
So my name is Anandini.
Sorry.
So I'll be talking about the key trends, challenges, and future outlook of US civil aviation for the next 10 years. So from what we can see, from 2013 to 2019, US civil aviation grew through airline mergers and the rise of low-cost carriers like Southwest and Frontier, with over 900 million passengers annually. Technological advancements such as fuel efficient aircraft and increased airport automation improved operations. Next slide, please. So now we will be talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, which happened during 2020 to 2021, which caused a 60 to 70% drop in the air travel through leisure travel quickly, though leisure travel quickly rebounded. Post-pandemic recovery, which happened between 2021 to 2023, it brought challenges like labor shortage and rising cost. Looking ahead, the industry is focused on sustainability with innovations like electric and hydrogen-powered planes, while business travel's future remains uncertain. I would request Saransh to continue.
Hello, my name is Saransh, and I'll be concluding our presentation. So, the Indian airline industry has experienced a decade of dynamic shifts marked by significant volatility, external challenges, and a remarkable recovery in the recent years. So, it faced some initial struggles from 2014 to 2023, where the industry faced numerous challenges such as rising fuel costs, intense competition, and frequent price wars. Then the COVID-19 pandemic, and it worsened the situation due to the global travel restrictions and a drastic reduction in the demand. Then came the turnaround in 2024. The Indian airline industry made a significant financial recovery led by Indigo. It marked a recovery of EBITDA margin of 23.88%. In conclusion, the Indian airline industry's journey over the past decade has been turbulent but promising. While the initial struggles were worsened by the pandemic, the measures implemented in 2024 have laid a strong foundation for profitability and growth in the future. The focus on the efficiency and financial discipline will likely drive the continued success for this sector. Thank you so much.